The site had been untouched for many years and I had driven past countless times wondering what it could be used for, with most of my ideas falling at the first hurdle because of the size, shape and position of the site. Just by chance in 2016 I made some tentative inquiries with the selling agent. It became apparent that the current owner had actually acquired full planning permission for a scheme involving a mix of work and retail units which had living accommodation over the commercial units. Initially I thought the asking price appeared very reasonable. However, I had serious doubts whether or not the submitted planning application would be financially viable. I decided to disregard the current planning approval and instead looked at the site as a blank canvas, safe in the knowledge that at least the planners were keen to see something built on the site. Disregarding the current planning approval, I made an offer reflecting this. The offer was accepted and so began the long process of designing a scheme that would work. A new planning application consisting of 16 one-bed flats on 4 stories was submitted. Despite numerous conditions, the application was in principle accepted. The original application did not have habitation on the ground floor, whereas our application did. Unbeknown to us at the time, the site was situated within a flood risk area. Before the planners would consider the application any further, a full flood risk assessment would need to be produced and accepted by the Environment Agency. There was one further major condition within our conditional approval that needed to be addressed. We needed to commission an extensive ground survey that was both complex and time-consuming as well as being costly. The ground survey involved holes being drilled to varying depths, providing us with accurate data on the strata. Surface soil samples were also collected and sent to the laboratory for analysis. Adding to the general ground survey, a ground-penetrating radar survey was also carried out to identify any underground tanks or services that might affect the building design. The ground survey would serve 2 principal purposes. The first, to satisfy the local authority that the site was clear of contaminants. And, in the event contamination was detected, the production of a full and detailed remediation method statement would follow. And, the second purpose of the ground survey would be to provide valuable data that would assist with the design of the foundations. A remediation method statement was subsequently produced and all data that was collated contributed in designing the foundations and ground beam. It wasn't until as recently as late 2019 that a firm use for the building was decided and, when making that decision, certain considerations were made. Did the building have a presence suited to the area? Would the scheme be profitable enough to make it financially viable? Did the finished building have a worthwhile use? Addressing all of the consideration, a deal was finally agreed between North East Lincolnshire Council and JCP Construction to design and build a purpose-built multi-story building that would provide bespoke accommodation for young adults with varying disabilities. The building would be built to an exceptionally high standard and would become the first project that North East Lincolnshire Council would deliver since its inception as a local authority after the demise of Humberside County Council. The finished building would incorporate an array of assisted technology living features that would offer an unparalleled living experience to those most in need within the community. Finally, we were good to go.